Hey guys, so today I'm going to be reacting to some of the Aloha form Pokemon in Pokemon Sun and Moon. We're just going to jump into it with Sandshrews Aloha form, which is an Ice Steel type Pokemon, and he doesn't really look all that different from what Sandshrew looks like normally, but it's kind of interesting that they turned him into an Ice Steel Pokemon. I know Vulpix has turned into an Ice type too, and I think my theory for why that they might be turning into Ice types is because maybe it has something to do with volcanoes on Hawaii, and maybe the volcano went dormant and all the Pokemon that used to live there changed types. This is definitely an interesting idea. My only critique with it is this kind of idea that Pokemon look different depending on where they live. I feel like that's something that needed to be introduced earlier. It just kind of seems weird now that, Generation 7 comes around and we're just figuring out, oh, hey, by the way, Pokemon that live in different environments tend to look different, is kind of something that I'd think that would be introduced a little bit earlier. So I think that's my only critique, but I like the idea. I'm interested to see how they play this idea in the game, because I'm sure it's going to be touched upon. But this is interesting. I don't mind this version of Sandshrew just because I don't think it looks all that different from what Sandshrew typically looks like. And I know Sandslash is here too, so we're going to scroll down to him. He reminds me of that one villain in Johnny Test, the ice guy. I forget his name. It's been a while, but he kind of looks like that. And it's actually kind of a cool... I liked what they did with his nails. They kind of bent them a little bit so they were more ice pickish and less, diggish. So I really like this design for Sandshrew too. Again, I like the designs. I'm not quite sure what they're going to do with the actual Aloha forms, why they're like this. But again, my own theory is that it was just where they lived and maybe the volcano went dormant and got colder and they were forced to take on this kind of form. But I don't mind Sandshrew and Sandslashes so far. I think they're kind of nice to show the different typing without completely changing the Pokemon. Now here's Vulpix. Vulpix is cute. I don't mind this. I don't think it's a heavy change from what it was, but it's still... it's what I expect a Vulpix to look like if Vulpix was an Ice type. Which really isn't saying much because I think that's what Pokemon was going for. I'm almost like to see it highlighted with a different color. This is a lot of white. A lot of white on white. But again, I don't hate this. I don't hate this idea. I just think it should have been introduced earlier. And then we have Ninetales, which still looks very, very pretty. They add fairy type to this, so it's an ice fairy, which means Ninetales is going to be a bitch to defeat in this game. Fairy types don't have a lot against them, and I think the ice type's going to kind of cover for some of the type advantages. So yeah, Ninetales is going to be an absolute bitch to be in. Maybe you can get away with fire because it's still ice type. I don't know, it's going to be a little difficult to beat in this game. This is Exeggutor. Now, I've seen it before, but I just can't get over... I mean, I kind of understand why they did it. Because I think that this was the original design for Exeggutor, was for Exeggutor to be tall. So I don't hate it. I understand that people are kind of like, whoa, this is really stupid. It's really, really tall and it doesn't have to be. I think the most ridiculous part of this is they added dragon to it. Because I don't really see how it would be a dragon, and I don't know, I don't mind this Exeggutor. That's a lie, I kind of mind it because it does kind of look weird, but I understand why. I can understand why they did it, and I guess it makes more sense Exeggutor looking more like palm trees than he did in the Kanto version. But, I think it's a little too tall, I don't know what you would... we're just gonna go on. Meowth looks gay. I'm sorry. I agree with the one Tumblr post that's like, the artist misunderstood and thought that the creator wanted Meowth to look gayer, not grayer. They turned him into a dark type, which is kind of interesting. He went from a normal type. Do they have Persian too? Oh, no Persian. They have Marowak, but no Cubone? Okay, Marowak is badass. I love this Marowak design. It is so freaking bad. I love it. I love it so much. I wish... But now this poses the question, does Cubone look different, or is it just Marowak? Because that wouldn't make sense, because we have, you know, Sandshrew, Sandslash, Vulpix, Ninetales. Oh, but then, but Execute's kind of, you can't really change Execute. But I would think that Cubone would have to look different for Marowak to look this different. But the Fire Ghost, I really like that combination. I think this is really cool. I love this design. This is such a cool design. I love it so much. This is epic. I like this. You can't tell me otherwise. This is really cool. I just wish they told us whether or not Cubone looked a little bit different. Same with Meowth and Persian. Is Persian going to look different too? It almost kind of makes sense, especially with Meowth, because Meowth is the first evolution. So it just makes sense that Persian would also have the color change that Meowth does. I hate this. And I love Raichu, but I don't like this. I don't like it at all. I think the typing is interesting, the Psychic and Electric, but I really hate this design so much. It's too cutesy. Way too cutesy. I like the idea that, you know, Raichu can surf around on his tail, but I don't like it. It's too fairy-esque, I guess. It looks like it should be a fairy type. And I love Raichu. And again, with Marowak, does Pikachu look different because Raichu looks different? Because it doesn't make sense that it would evolve and look different. I think if they're going to go with this idea of Pokemon that live in different places look different, they have to do the first evolutions and the second evolutions. Otherwise, I don't think it's as strong as, you know, Pokemon look the same until they evolve and they look different. It doesn't make as much sense. So, I think it's all of the Aloha version Pokemon they've released. So far, Marowak is my favorite. I'm sorry, I love this design so much. He definitely has the coolest design out of all the Aloha forms, but remember to like, subscribe, and comment below telling me what your favorite Aloha form Pokemon is, and what you think they're going to do with Aloha Pokemon in the Sun and Moon games.